If I surveyed all the good things that come to me from above, if I could count all the blessings from His storehouse of love, I'd simply ask for the favor of Him beyond mortal win. I'm sure He'll grant it again and again. I want to stroll over heaven with you some glad day when all the trouble and heartache are truly vanished away. We'll enjoy all the beauty where all things are new. I want to stroll over heaven with you. So many places of beauty we long to see here below, but time and treasure have kept us from making plans, as you know. But come the morning of rapture, together we will be. I want to stroll over heaven with you. We'll renew old acquaintance with friends we once knew. Then we'll meet our dear loved one. We'll meet Jesus too. That will be a glad reunion. There'll be much to view while I stroll over heaven with you. I want to stroll over heaven with you some glad day when all the trouble and heartache are truly vanishing away. We'll enjoy all the beauty where all things are new. I'm gonna stroll over heaven with you. Here a while back I was blessed to, I looked on Facebook and I saw a post that was made by her niece, and she asked me in that post, she said, Jason, do you have that song that Connie sung a long time ago, A Mother's Advice? I didn't even know that she even sung it, Taylor. But I remember that song when I was just a little boy. And we were down at hospice a while back, right after she went in, and I went over and began to talk to her about it. And I said, do you remember singing that song? And she shook her head. Oh, yeah. And I said, I never knew you knew that song, or I'd have had you sing it. She knew so many and was so good at so many. But thought of the words that she would have left behind there in that song, and Greg, if you ever have a chance to pick up a songbook around Mom's house and read them words, it was written from a mother to her boy. Sit down by the side of your mother, my boy. I only have just a short time, I know. But let me give you your parting advice before I must go. Began to tell how that she would leave here and knew how this world was and the condition of it, and she knew what she was leaving. But yet she said, you'll find, I'm going to give you something. You'll find in this little bundle that I'm leaving you a Bible, my son. And in it you'll find a road map. Tells you how to get from here to up there with God's Son. Oh, you may not be able to sing like the angels. You may not be able to preach like Paul. I've heard her sing that verse so many times. But you can tell the love of Jesus, the one who died for us all. If there was any refining of words today, if we had to define words here in this land, if we could, I believe that a lot of them would be redefined because of Sister Connie. She brought a whole new meaning to the word class. She brought a whole new meaning to the word love, peace, joy. But it all was because of Jesus, our Savior, that saved her a long time ago, that she'd be able to be that way and to live that way. Yeah. I thought as today, as we began to sit here and I listened to the singing, I never did know over in my lifetime, but just a few times to start a song on her own. She always would sit peacefully, and then someone would usually request her to sing, and she would. But if there was one in the house that could have got up on her own and sung and it wouldn't have bothered her soul, it was her. Why do you keep talking about her singing? Because I believe it was a gift that God gave to her. I believe that it was a gift that drew people to her today. I said like this today, there's a lot of people sitting around here that I would have never known in this life had it not been for Sister Connie. Brother Chester was talking about getting to know a lot of good people because of knowing them. I would have never known one of the best preachers that I ever heard in my life, Brother Willard Stewart, that's seated over here today. And I'm sure he never dreamed that he would live to see these many that he has here lately go on. But he's still here, and so many times I was blessed to hear him preach because of meeting such fine people as this. Brother Chester, I'd have never known you in this life had it not been for them. But you know what? All that entails is the love of God. It's not that complicated, my friend. It's because of His love. But I want to say just for a short space of time today, and I give me just a few minutes. She deserves to have something spoken over her. Now, Sister Connie was Old Baptist. She wasn't New Baptist. She wasn't General Baptist. She wasn't anything but Old Time Baptist. And that's what she liked. That's what she stood for today. Why did she do that? Because it stood for Jesus Christ. She didn't stand for it because Dad went there, because Mom went there. She stood for it because of what Jesus born in her soul loved today. She was never judgmental. Today she loved people unconditionally. Today she loved them, Brother Ray, because they were another human being. I've seen times before, and many a time in my life, that this sister here has reached out and done for others that she didn't even know. Today, listen, and on a a brighter note. I've seen times, listen, that this sister would lift me up when I was down and she didn't even know it. Today, she sung a song that it just overlaps my soul with joy and happiness when I'd hear her sing it. We couldn't sing all the songs that she sung here in this land today, but the memory that we have of hearing them, but there was one that I can hear her singing in my mind so many times, and it was the first time I ever heard it too. Some morning, listen, today when I stand inside of God's beautiful city, I'd like to talk it all over with Him. That song used to melt my heart. Today, I believe that she's talked it all over with Him today. I believe that she's talked it over with Him. Listen, and the talk's been, listen, mighty sweet, mighty sweet. Listen, I believe, I listen today. Oh, I could hear her saying, Jesus, how I thank you for all you've done for me here in this land today. What are you talking about? Yes, one of the brethren made a comment. She had good tay. She had good tay. Yes, she did. Today, I never saw her, whether it was early in the morning, and I've vacated with them before, Brother Ray, whether it was early in the morning or late at night. Oh, after an all-day shopping trip, that she didn't still look as good as she got up that morning. Listen today, a friend, and I'll never forget one time we were over in the Smoky Mountain. Listen, and her and Sister Bonnie, they said, let's go shopping, Jason. Well, I learned my lesson that day. Listen, as we went down to the Tanger outlet mall, every store we went in, they knew them. They knew them. Listen, today, I guess they'd been in there several times that week before I got down, Brother Israel, but we went in one, and I came out with one bag, and it was nearly $400. Listen, but they had me matched up pretty good. Listen today. Oh, the next morning, Sister Connie said, listen, do you want to go shopping again? I said, I don't think I can. Listen today. Why are you saying this? Because, listen, I told her, I'll never forget what I told her. I said, I believe I can go to church with you a lot better than I can shopping with you. Listen today, a friend, but she had her way, brother. She had her way that no one else could be. I've been to their home before, and we'd have different ones there singing. I've been in good meetings there on that patio they built in the back. I remember when they first built it, and we all gathered over there and began to sing and have church. You were there that night. You were talking about your wife and your daughter. They were there, and they were singing. I'm going to tell you one, it hurts when you see one go. It hurts to say goodbye. Oh, but listen today, I'm not saying goodbye to her here in this land as much as I'm saying sleep on, sleep on. I'll meet you outside the eastern gate. Oh, where we'll all go in together, and it will be joy, 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 and that forevermore. There was a writer one time, listen, today, he said like this, he said, I'm convinced my departure, it's at hand. The other day when we went down to hospital, Taylor, listen, I really wondered how it would be when we walked in, and my daughter, for some reason, well, I know what reason, the same reason that most here at has took to Connie ever since she was a small girl, and really didn't know how much Connie meant to her. Listen, Ray brought her up a four-wheeler one time that I brought her down here, and he brought it up, and I think to this day she still thinks that he gave it to her. Listen, but that's all right. Listen, today, oh, but listen, when we went in the room there, And listen, she got a look at Sarah, and she said, "Hey, you." I knew it was still Sister Connie. Listen, she had a way with children. Today, friend, Jason, why do you keep saying good things about her? Friend, there's only one reason that she was this way. There's only one reason that she walked the way she walked, that she talked the way she talked. Oh, it was because she met the man that held all power in the universe. She met the man that gave his life for the whole world, that you could be saved. How did she meet him? Did Brother Boss take her there? Did Sister Eva Lee walk her up to him? No, no, no. She found herself. I wasn't there. I didn't see, but I believe. Oh, friend, I believe she saw herself lost and running undone. Listen, there she sat. Somebody said, "How do you know this, Jason?" "Oh, because I used to be in the same shape at one time. You were in the same shape at one time. You remember when you were lost, running undone? No one could help you out." I could see this, our sister, so humbly, looking as the woman that said, "If I could but touch the hem of his garment." I believe that she cried out one time, Brother Greg, and when she cried out that one time, oh, I believe that the power of heaven flooded over her soul and saved her. Saved her. And you know what she done? You know what she done? She may have hummed on some songs before in her life before then, but she never sang like she sang till Jesus saved her soul. And then she was be able to live like that. She was glad to show His love, His peace. Friend, oh, I want to say like this. Somebody said, "Well, I hope there's a crowd at my funeral like this." Friend, it's not everybody that walks has this many people come anymore. Why? Was it because they just heard of her? No, it was because of Christ through her. But that writer said, "I'm convinced my departure is at hand." And he said, "I fought a good fight." I can hear this our sister say, "I fought a good fight." And she did. If there was any woman that ever diagnosed with what she was diagnosed with, and I don't want to cry, I've prayed all week that God would bless me not to break down. I've already done that several times. But listen, to look up and to see her when you can't even get people that's alive and well and able right down the road to come out to church and them say they're a member, but to see her come in when she wasn't, when most people would have stayed home, shut the blinds, oh listen, hated the world. Brother Ray, God bless her heart. Listen, oh friend, I saw her the first time that she came. Listen what she done. I saw her lift them hands. Sister Kathy, you were there. You remember that. Listen, I saw her lift them hands, begin to clap them. "If I don't," she said, "it's all right anyhow." You remember that, Brother Ray? Sister Gail, that night, that she was happy either way. Why did she do that? Sister Bonnie, God bless your life. Why did she do that? Friend, I want to tell you, it's not because she wanted to put on a show. It wasn't because of that. I'll tell you why that she said, "It's all right anyhow." Oh, whether she lived or whether she stayed, she's a winner either way. Listen, oh, she knew that whether she was here or there, it was good. But right down to just a few months ago, they brought her over to church and she was just about almost near in a wheelchair bound. It was our Easter service down at Lexington. This was just back in March, wasn't it, Sister Gail? Now I want to show you something here, friend. How much God meant to her and how much He can do in your life. I thought of her as like a little child that night, the way they told me she done. She already had in her mind that she wanted to come down to Lexington for the Easter service. And unbeknownst to them, she kind of smuggled her bag together to go back home with Sister Gail. Kind of put things together so she could go, Taylor. And most people would have told her, no, you're not able to go. And she wasn't physically. I saw her walk in that morning, and I thought of when, I know that it wasn't probably as great a feeling as they had back in that time, but I thought of how some of them must have felt when they saw Christ had risen like He promised. I saw her walk in that building, and I thought, Brother Israel, that's the power of Christ. But that sister, this bad. March wasn't that long ago, friend. March wasn't that long ago. And you could tell she was physically in pain. But she came because she wanted to go. And I think that was about the last time that we had her down. And the last time she came over to Freedom Valley, she was not able to be there. She came in a wheelchair. We pulled out that day and I began to cry. I let my wife drive home because my heart was broke. And I said, that's the last time she'll be here for church. And it was. Friend, it's hard to say goodbye, naturally so. She done a lot that we could talk all day about, but we'd never get through. But I'll say this. It's not so hard when you can say, I'll meet you in the morning. David, I believe it was in the Bible, he had a baby that he loved. I believe it was a son. He wanted a son so bad and was blessed to have it. That son had died. Boy, it broke his heart. He loved that baby. Tears began to flow from his eyes. He even was being a little jealous-hearted and even wanted to say, Lord, why did you take my baby back? I believe Brother Sonny, he probably said that. Why did you take my baby away? But the Spirit of God came over him. And you know what he began to say? I can't bring this baby back to me. Boy, what a message he preached. But by the grace of God, I can go where it is. I can't bring Sister Connie back to this family. I wouldn't. She wouldn't let me. She wouldn't let me. I'll tell you what, she's never shopped in no better place than what she's shopping in today. And I can tell you what, she's hit a sale like she's never hit before. Somebody said, what is it, 50% off? It's 100% off, Brother James. Everything there she can have. Everything there she can take and do. And it's not going to cost her one thing. It's already been paid for. By what? The song says, the price was paid by wounded hands. And what flowed out of those wounded hands, as Brother Joe said, the blood of the Lamb. Yes, our sister will live again. Our sister was one of the prettiest women I've ever known in my life. Somebody said she was proud. She was proud in the Lord.